Welcome to the Success Sensei podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devane.
Bowing in. This is Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. Today's episode, Take 2, and it's episode 233. Welcome to the starting round.
Hands up. It's the starting round on the Success Sensei podcast.
Take 2. So what I'm referring to in this episode is a second take or a second go. It can be a second, third, fourth, fifth, but basically things didn't go well for you on the first take. You need another shot. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, basically, it's the end of January. We're very nearly at the end of January. Most Januaries are very hard to get on top of your goals and your resolutions, to detox yourself after the Christmas break and the New Year's festivities, and to launch into all of the plans and the goals and the new regimes, fitness, financial, spiritual, physical, family, work, business, hobbies, everything that you've set out that you thought would instantly happen for you from the 1st of January, or certainly the first working week in January, hasn't worked out the way that you might have hoped. Now, in a normal January and in a normal year, it's still impossible. So I do want to give you peace of mind that there's very, very, very few people who have their act together at this stage. Now, I don't need to remind you that this year was even a harder start than 2020. Everybody was so looking forward to getting out of 2020 and starting 2021. But the reality of it is 2021 has started worse than 2020, at least. In January and February, there was small murmurs of a virus, but we had absolutely no idea of what was ahead. Whereas right now, going into 2021, January 2021, and most countries are in lockdown again. Most countries are at their highest level 5. People are furloughed again. It's like the third lockdown, and numbers are, through the roof. It's very hard to explain. It's very, very hard to see why. Yes, there is a vaccine, but still morale is, pretty low. It's rock bottom for a lot of people. A lot of people are fed up, especially when you do listen to the vaccination news and wonder to yourself, is it being, orchestrated correctly or what the hell is going on? But besides all that, you could be forgiven for not having your act together this particularly January 2021, or any January really, but specifically this January. Take as many goes as you need, as long as you ultimately get where you're going. So it's called Take 2, the episode, but it might be Take 3. In other words, don't write off the year, the month, the week, the day, just because you've fallen off the wagon. If your January hasn't lived up to your expectations, if you'd set yourself what really now at this stage might appear to be unrealistic goals at the start of the month, that doesn't mean you can't have another crack. That doesn't mean you don't have another go. That doesn't mean you give up and you write off the whole year or write off your goals. You can start at any stage. Now, I want to tell you something. My business, which is, as most people know, my main business always has been a martial arts club. Now, everybody sets out to join a gym, to get fit, to join a martial arts club, say in January, all the New Year's resolutions, people. We all know about everybody setting out their new fitness goals for the new year. Now, we generally don't have as busy a January as ordinary gyms have. So what happens to us is we might see the New Year's resolution people in February or even March. We actually see them fairly late. Now, I think it's for a couple of reasons. I think number one, people are a little bit more nervous about joining a martial arts or kickboxing club than they would be a normal gym. And the process of what happens to most people that end up joining us later on, and not the initial New Year's resolution people, is that they have to fall out with themselves to eventually fully commit to joining. So they've had to fall off the wagon a few times. They've had to get angry and disappointed with themselves, mad at themselves. And then eventually they will bypass whatever nervous or emotional barriers there are to joining, and they will fulfill their New Year's resolution. So it's very common for people to fulfill their New Year's resolutions not in January, certainly in the first quarter or even the second quarter of the year. Keep that in mind. That doesn't mean you fail. If eventually you get to succeed at the goal that you set yourself, the timeline, is irrelevant as long as you get there. So don't worry about your January not being perfect. And I really do want to reiterate that, because I know a lot of people are hurting this month. I think mental health is through the floor. I think people's stress, anxiety, depression, people are very, very unhappy within themselves, within society, within, the global environment, everything that's going on. Sure, everybody's been affected by the pandemic and by the virus to one extent, some more so than others, absolutely. But everybody has been put it. Everybody has found it a struggle. Everybody's had to look internally. So go easy on yourself. Absolutely set your goals. Do not give up on them. Don't worry too much about the timeline. January, I always feel, and I always tell my clients, is that do your best in January and then start making headway. Don't immediately start on the 1st or the 2nd or the 4th or whatever the first working day in the new year, January is, and think that you're going to be like a horse bolting. It's not really going to happen like that. And I do think you'll end up frustrating yourself even more, and you'll end up just being disappointed. So slow but gradual, get through January. It's always a bit of a crappy month because it's great for goal setting. It's great for planning. It's great for renewing your plans for the year and setting out the year. But thinking that you're going to achieve everything and get your life together and get all your systems in place in January, it never really works out like that. So I do think it can be a disappointing month for a lot of people. I think it's great for planning, but execution, I think it's a very poor month, especially as well when you throw in the weather, the bad weather as well, and the dark days. It isn't easy. Now, that's not giving you every excuse to fail. None of us need any extra excuses to fail. I certainly don't. I'm sure you don't need excuses to fail. So I'm certainly not absolving you of your excuses. But all I'm saying is, get back on that wagon. If you failed, don't give up. Try to get past the excuses. Try to get refocused. Realize now you're a month into the year, and now build up your momentum from here. And I absolutely wish you all the best. If you want to talk about your goals, if you need hand setting out your goals, message me anytime. Go to thesuccesssensei.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.